Welcome to my office. I literally heard somebody say the other day, I can't wear that, the button broke. The button broke? I'm gonna wager a guess that you probably know how to sew on a button, but maybe you know somebody who doesn't. It's time to learn. It's a valuable lesson to have. It's so easy. Watch. The back pocket of these trousers have a little flap that buttons down to keep that pocket closed. The button's been missing for quite some time. It's been driving me crazy. The first thing we're going to do is get out our button box. And that's the story of my life. Yes, I have a button box, don't you? My grandmother was a seamstress and my mother was a dressmaker. So here's a perfect little black button, and I bet that's going to fit. The first thing you have to do is just slip it through the buttonhole to make sure it's the right size. And this one slips through perfectly, so that's the one I'm going to use. Then we take our sewing kit. Come on, don't you have a sewing kit? I'm going to use a little gold thread instead of black so you can see what I'm doing a little better. And I'm going to take a pair of scissors out that I only use for fabric because, like I said, dressmaking runs in the family. And in my pin cushion, here is a needle that's got a nice big eye on it. We'll use that. My grandmother may be long gone, but her non-electric, foot-activated 1917 Singer sewing machine sits right behind me as a constant reminder of the many things that she taught me. Sewing was one of them. You're going to want about, I don't know, about 24 inches or so of thread because I'm going to double it. And I'm going to thread the needle. Once you get the thread through the eye of the needle, you're going to pull it through, double that thread. You're going to make a little knot at the tip of it just to hold it in place so that when you get to the first slip through the fabric, it doesn't pull through. Little knot. More often than not, when you've lost a button on a shirt, you can see where the old thread was. That tells you where the button needs to be. So the first thing you want to do is create a little anchor. I'm going to do this all from the top side just to make it a little easier. And then I'm going to slip that button through my needle and slide it right into place. And I'm going to push through and grab it from the other side. You don't want your button to go too tight. I think 4 or 5 times on each side should be plenty. Once you've done the first 2 holes, this button has 4 holes. I'm going to go through the other side. You can do this as an X, or you can just do side-by-side stitches. There's really no rule on which works best. As long as you get that thread through 3 or 4 or 5 times, you've got a secure button. You see, I'm not pulling these too tight. Once you've gone through about 4 times on each side, you're going to stick that needle in from the other side and just come through the outside of the button, and we're going to create a shank. The shank will secure the stitches. I'm going to roll this around the button 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times, and that creates a little buffer so it doesn't create a wear on the fabric when you do button it. Push that through again to the other side, and on the inside you're going to create a little knot. I like to slip it through and then pull the needle up through that loop. And there is your knot. Snip it, turn it over, snip your loose ends here, and there is your replaced button. And you can see that shank has created a little lift around the button so it's not flat up against the fabric, and it has a little give. But it's really strong because of it. And we slip this through, and there we are, finished product. Button back where it belongs, on the loop at the back of the pocket. Parents always say that kids never listen to them. So sometimes it's good to have somebody else teach them something. Share this video with them. Sewing on a button is something everyone should know how to do. It's so easy. And while you're at it, why don't you subscribe to this channel? Thanks for watching.